It's just, interesting. I realize that now. I'm watching this as one story is created. So this is why you're seeing out there. You see, as stories are, the so-called stories are, you're seeing them. You're physically seeing them. You're seeing the programs repeating. You're seeing you can see them. They're locked down. La, 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 la. Those that are unconscious, wow, are just going around and staying in the same. They set frequency story. So as things work, there's only consciousness. Energy takes on the form of that belief. So they're stuck in the same reality, you see. It just confirms, yep, things are terrible, they're doomed, and it goes around, 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 around. So the movie just stays on the same loop, right? And this is interesting. So you'll see what's happening out there. As there's different timelines being formed, stories of New Earth, and this is wonderful, that's happening, it's positive. The exact opposite is immediately being generated because that is the Maya. It will make the opposite, like life and death and good and bad and happy and sad, you see. But if you actually pay attention to any of those energies, you don't label it, it dissolves. You're not labeling it. You feel that energy rising, but now you have been taught to say, oh, that's grief, or that feeling is this or that, you see. Because and also you believe you're in a body. But if you know and you experience and you pay attention, no, there's energy moving in no thing. In this immense field, there's just energy that's moving. But you can feel, as I'm saying, what you're being fed as a story. If you're aware enough, you're aware that it's actually frequencies and vibrations pulsing. It's energy that's pulsing. That is now being made into words and stories. What you say are downloads and things, perceptions. That's what you actually... The brain is interpreting waves. The minute you label it, though, and identify with it, it makes particles. They say particles and matter, wave and form, as people say. As a young girl was saying, this is why they say there's two things at once. It's wave and particle. No. It is only particle. It only becomes particle when there's an identification with that thought. When it goes through the story mechanism, the waves, which is the mind, there's no set mind. Don't think there's a brain or mind. It's a mechanism, and it's not found anywhere. It's just there. The minute it transforms that into words, English, that's a story. A minute. I mean, source has no. Is what I'm saying. There's no language, set language, because on other body and other planets you speak a different language. You have a different everything. It's all imagined. So the minute you identify with something, you see, as other than no thing, a source, the minute you it becomes particle. This is why people experience particle and wave, because there is no particle, there is no wave. There's energy. It's moving, it's fluctuating, it's vibrating. And you'll pay attention when this is very busy, how the energy gets so busy around, it feels like around the head. Why? It's because that energy, all of it is conscious. It's listening to how it is being defined. Okay, I'm now a person. Okay, I'm now this thought. So that reality appears. You can't separate them. It takes on, it immediately starts forming that. Well, so if you just stay as the awareness yourself, remain, as they say, as the self, as just, it is aware. It's just here. And has no feeling, eh? That's what I'm saying. That it's only you only experience feeling and these things because you think you're a body and because you're labeling it as a feeling, as a bird, as sad, as bad, as hot, as pain, as anything. Anything. That's what it will be experienced at. But source, there is no physical, there's no feeling, there's no vibration. It doesn't move. It's still. It's still. You don't feel waves, you don't feel body emotions, energies, any of this nonsense, any of that noise, the mind, you actually exit the story mechanism. It becomes quiet. But I say, also you can go to the part where you can disappear. This whole thing can dissolve. The experience of any world, people can disappear completely. So can reality disappear. It's quite something. As I said, it was a shock when the mind, when it's believed. You see, when you believe there is a real person that exists in reality, or real anything, that's the thing, is to really get that absolutely nothing exists. There's no people, no anything, actually, anything. There's only this emptiness, this awareness. And you will start watching reality transform to that. It's not reality, it's the energy, which you see as thousands of atoms. So your so-called thousands of atoms, which has now been holding a pattern as a body, which you see as geometric patterns or shapes in everything, because now because they've been labeled as things. That's it. So there we are. Understand why you are seeing these stories appear out there. The more you will see, this is what you call timelines and quantum jumping. Naturally, then you will understand why you will no longer experience them. As Bashar says, the train tracks will get further apart and you will not see them or perceive them because of the frequency and vibration change will be so different. Because if you're locking into this world and perception, right? Literally, the other one is, it will create always the opposite story. So the opposite story is obviously completely, different frequency and vibration and an experience. So you will not perceive it. Because if you don't believe you're going to be annihilated or nuked or, whatever, how can you experience that story? The structure of the cell's reality, the formless nothing, is not going to take on that shape and form because you believe you're moving there and this has happened, and that's what the experience is going to reflect to you. Because consciousness it's creating all of this, all these stories. So now you also won't pay attention to the news or any media or any story you see out there because you'll understand it's a story. It's imagined. There is nothing, this is the most fundamental part, is to understand nothing exists. No one and no thing, not an object anywhere. Nothing is set. It can appear though, the minute you say it has, the minute you've labeled that story or created it, boom, immediately, and the reality will create the opposite. So what you are seeing out there, what you perceive, let's say, you think you are seeing, because you believe you're in a story and it's a human experience, right? So what you're seeing are the same patterns being projected by whoever, doesn't matter, whatever they believe, think, that whatever source has taken on, believed and thinks it's a person and it's we doomed and that's happened and I'm whatever, is all projected. So all you're seeing is a huge amount of projected stories being manifest out there. That's all they are. Then you won't even listen to them because you will understand there is no thing that exists. Nothing. It's just a story. So you won't even believe it, take it as real, listen to it or anything, because you'll understand that story has been generated by that structure of energy at the moment. So let's see, those so many trillions of cells, that's even not true, because there's a number again and whatever. But let's just say humans have labeled human bodies to have whatever, how many amount of cells, right? That means source has taken on so many, it needs to form into so many, things to make a pattern of a human body. That's all that is. That pattern of a human body now has chosen, it's believed, I'm a human person, I'm a story, and this is happening, and this is what's going on, and that's all that you're seeing. So you would ignore all of it, because none of it can affect you, because you realize they're just images appearing in nothing. And it will disappear. You won't take anything you see as literal, as real, as anything out there. You'll know everything is a projection of mind, of story, of consciousness. That's what I'm saying. I'm watching this. As these things come through, the exact opposite story is generated. And you're thinking, And then you also think, is it wise to choose to label anything when you know everything is you? Everything is one energy taking a shape. Because you have labeled something, it has to take the opposite shape. So you are dividing yourself as the one into a good and a bad, and this timeline, this story, that shape, this being, that thing, whatever, as things, literally. It's all it's doing. You will ignore everything out there because you'll know it's complete imagined. You see, it's because you believe you are real, and that's why you experience a physical reality and matter, which is non-existent, like literally. And we got to get out of this label. So don't label yourself as an object at all. Anything is an object. Everything is source, as you saw in those things I've shared with you now. And then it also will unlock from that good and bad bond, you see. It all dissolves back, and it can be free moving. As you'll notice, it's a wave. It'll become a wave again. You will not experience a particle, anything as particles anymore. It's quite interesting, I must admit. You see. Interesting. Yeah. And this is how those beings are moving through what you think you can't figure out. How did they move through dimensions? How did they become multidimensional? They're traveling there, you know, whatever else. Some of them are non-physical. They're saying they're non-physical beings, or they're semi-physical. Why? Because they know. They're not labeling themselves as a particle anymore, as an object in time and space. They, you know, like some of them are. They're still saying, well, this and that, well, you know, species, whatever. There we are. You're still labeling yourself as a thing. I'm an ET, or I'm a person, I'm a, you know, or we are labeling. It's a story. It's all, as I say, it's all story. It's a well, it's a this, it's a flower. Anyway, and that's why you can have the experience of being all those things as well. It is amazing, I must admit. It is really mind-blowing to become these things. Well, then you understand. You are just the source. So there we are. Hoping that helps you understand what's going on out there, and you won't, whatever you see on the news or anything, you'll just know it's absolute imagined. You won't worry then. You won't think it's a real world and things are going to happen and go wrong and bad and this and that. You'll know it's absolutely nothing to worry about. It's projected. So all that form believes it's a human and it's having this experience, and like I say, all of a sudden, oh, we're all going to die, starve, there's climate disaster, blah, 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 blah. You just scroll past and you realize, okay, these are just options being created. Anything is created, the opposite's created. That's all. So you are seeing all the opposite stories. And more as you release the stories, you notice, as if you believe you're a person, they dissolve. And because the frequencies, the vibrations are really so different, of course, how can you experience it? So that's all. Hopefully that explains why there's a perception of different timelines. And yeah, it's because they are stories. That's all they are. The minute one story is created, an opposite's created. And you, believing you are in something, you are a thing, an object, you are choosing a story to experience as a thing, an object. And this is why you don't experience those other timelines. But then if you also watch the cycles of nature when you're in a story, you're going to understand if you choose one, you've got to come back to the other side. Like now, where there's drought, there's going to be desert. Where there's desert, there's going to be lush savannas. Where there's savanna, desert, whatever, ice, hot, cold, whatever. That's just what it does. It cycles around different experiences. Anyway. All right, I hope that explains. And then that makes sense of the molecules. You see, the minute you say something, it forms a particle. It immediately takes on a light and a dark, that peace sign. The atom, if you look at it, that's under a microscope now. They've shown it. One half is light, one half is dark. Everything can remain as a wave, a known particle, if nothing is identified with or labeled, or like you as consciousness. Yeah, okay. Select anything. If you allow everything just to move through the field, every thought, even that, look, if you pay attention to thought, go into the thought with your awareness, you will see it hasn't got a matter, a solidity, a form, no substance. It's not solid. It's nothing. So I'm saying, if you really go a bit more, you pay attention, you'll feel all it is energy pulsing. And that has been, let's see, it's watching it, it's an amazing experience. And you watch how it's then, the mechanism reads it into thoughts. It creates like stories out of it. So what the scientists say, the brain is a receiver. No, it's just listening to the story box. It's a story mechanism. Blah, 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 blah. It's just going like this. It's an option. That's what it does. It's there to generate an illusion, a story. It'll generate. The minute you identify with one, you watch it, the whole stream will go. It starts making a story. Or you identify whatever, and then the negative one will come up. Oh my gosh, maybe this and that. And it will just go, 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 go. Because that's what it does. It's like a mechanism. It just creates a story. Which means particle. If you identify with it. You are labeling. Anything you label within the self now takes on the geometric shape or particle. It becomes from wave to particle. That's all it is. But yeah, they can all dissolve back to nothing. No particles. There's no particle that actually, yeah. It's wave taking shapes. And the mind mechanism, generating whatever it is thing, does that. And now you'll see when you know that everything that appears in the self, nothing, it's this empty space that you are perceiving these thoughts, those snapshots of your history are just exactly all nonsense created. None of it's true. So you can ignore it. Pictures, images it generates are generated because it's a snapshot. You see, of a story. Anyway, as that lady was saying, very interesting. If you want to, so you can go onto my page if you want. You'll see where I've shared those proof of the atoms, of the where it forms a light and a dark. You can see the thing about where the water forms into ice. You're aware of your own so-called energy vibrating, which you think are your human cells, as I'm saying. You can feel all these things. If you start, but think about what I said. First of all, you've really got to, the only thing it believes, the minute you stop all thought, there's no thing of a person. The thought of a person is a thought itself. There is no person here. So it is to not accept anything. That there's a you that exists, there's a person that exists, there's a body that exists, there's anything that exists. There we are. Good foundation to start with. But initially, as I say, it's going to keep downloading the same blah, 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 and yesterday and whatever stories, whatever is, program, your history and nonsense, it's adapted. It will download. You can watch it go, it'll come in. Because it takes quite a while to stop identifying, stop activating that mind mechanism, which is they say Maya generator. It generates the story, the Maya, the illusion. As they tell you, it's like a movie projector. That thing, that thought object, automatically does that. And the minute you exercise what you'd say the brain, you think, you use it. If you do not stay as the observer, you allow the mind to activate in any way, boing, it starts. The entire thing like locks in and downloads. And then your past, your history, it all comes in, like the whole story starts, as they say, just restarts. It'll keep going. So it takes a while of ignoring it, not paying attention to it, paying attention to the feeling of, actually, what am I feeling? What do I feel? Do I feel a solid body? You're going to keep, as long as you believe you have one, you will keep experiencing the sensations and all that stuff, even the thoughts. It's like when you believe you're in this reality, when you exit that, you will experience, it's like a bandwidth. It's like a stream. It's a stream you move out of. When you drop back into it, it's like a horizontal stream that you can move into. The minute you drop back into it, woof, it all activates again, and you feel it. It vibrates. When you exit the person illusion and all that, there's no vibration. There's no sensation that stops. It's just stillness. It's lovely. There's not any movement, zzz, buzzing noise, any of that nonsense. You exit the whole... That's it. It's peace. It's quiet. It's still. There's not any sensation, vibration, story. You exit it. Because if you haven't got a body, what is there to feel? Who is there to feel? And what? You're not labeling anything you say. So there's no experience of the emotions of a body, of its what the body does or any of it. But if you still believe you are a consciousness in a body or having a human experience, and so it shall be. I hope that explains. I hope that helps anyone or anything who knows. This stuff was downloaded, it was listened to, so it don't go away then. It's locked into the, there we are. So it needs to get expressed, otherwise it actually builds up. You'll notice that. The minute something was given attention, it's like downloads. It becomes like solidified or energy, it's density. And if you don't release it, it gets denser. So it's like expressing it and then it's gone. So you express it just to release that energy. So there we are. But try do that. Spend your time, if you're very much body focused, but you are conscious, semi-awake if you want to say, spend your time focusing as the here. Just as a, stay as in the feeling of this boundless energy. It's amazing. You'll also see anyway, you'll see the body will be more guided anyway naturally to do things that you would think, okay, you know, like the other day, here as an example, I was leaving this gym place. And normally the body goes past the shop and will get its milk and something on the way home. And it was just like, now you're staying out of the mind, identity or body thing. You're staying as the observer of all the bodies and all that. And it was just, go. This inclination or desire of the body, because at the moment it's still very there. So to just go straight, just to walk. No, don't go home straight away. Just carry on walking and go past there and just whatever. So, okay, whatever, let's just go with it. Why? Because there's a lot of things this body's been doing interesting. It's just to be around certain people, certain conversations. You'll notice you'll be bumping into certain people, certain conversations, and just spreading the awakening, spreading the idea of non-physical, the life after death, whatever. Who knows? Stories that appear interesting, and people that appear to share these stories with. I mean, it's amazing. You'll just be bumping into people out of the blue, so-called people, to spread awareness or whatever they need to know. Who knows? So, for some strange reason, on the way home the other day, this body was like, no. Just to keep going. Who knows? Oh, whatever. No train smash. Keep going. And on the walk, we walked past two ladies. This story as well, but anyway, you're walking past. Two ladies are sitting on a bench, and you could see them it was awkward. In their sort of suits, obviously work outfits, and I don't know, one just got fired, whatever the story was, one was very upset. And the other lady, but older, was trying to calm her down. But you could see very much identified with the mind and body and story, and very much in their automatic programs. So she felt felt very uncomfortable trying to comfort this woman. So she was kind of sitting there trying to, and not like, because obviously very much identified with the programming of the body. You could see it's fully in its program, not awakened. So you could see that she was trying her hardest in a way without trying to hug or whatever else this other person. So she was sitting there and trying to sort of, okay, you got a very nice outfit, like in running a program, big time. Which wasn't, and this other lady was really, trying to suppress her feelings or emotions, and she was crying. So you knew something was wrong. You could see this lady was really crying, having a really bad day, and this other one was just not running a program. So this body walked past, and of course the mind's, oh no, and it immediately, the first instinct was immediately to go up and give her a hug. But then the mind also, you see, it's a program. It's used to no, don't, whatever. For some reason, the one part sort of like, no, just, keep going, whatever, shame, so the mind started wanting to create a story, of course, because that's what it does. It's just a generator of stories. Started wanting to bring up some narrative, just whatever, it has to comment, you'll watch it. It's a story generator. Understand that all it does. Doesn't mean you have to listen to any of its nonsense. It only generates stories. That's all it does about anything. So it started to generate a story. And this one walked maybe 10 or 20 feet past, and it just thought, no, go back. The original instinct was just to go and hug this lady. Complete stranger, of course. I mean, who knows? So exactly, we turned around and went straight up to her. This other woman was sort of, really not doing a good job. Shame, not because of anything. She was trying, but she was in her program. She just didn't know how to reach out and just to hold her, or just, you know what I mean? She wasn't awake. So this body went up and gave this woman a big hug, and you could see she was quite surprised and really trying very hard to suppress, because we taught not to express our emotions, embarrassed, don't cry in public, whatever nonsense, whatever programs are running in the body, in the story. I'm a body, I can't do that, and whatever. I don't want to, whatever. People are going to think of me, whatever nonsense, who knows. The parrot just goes. So went up and gave her a big hug, and you could see she was quite surprised. And you see, the words come out the mouth, non-scripted. Just don't ever doubt your worthiness. You are, she said, oh my gosh, thank you. You are worthy, and don't ever doubt your worthiness. And she was, and then it kind of felt like the body, you could see it was like, okay, want to release, but she really needed it. But you can see the resistance, you see the program. So it kept hugging her for a bit, and just to hug her and let her know well, that helped because it triggered the tears, you see. It was okay that you are loved, and you see, the program of unworthiness is a massive program because people believe, it was taught to them, all this nonsense. They believe they're a human and all this nonsense. And it triggered the tears that they only expel out of that body. So it triggered a big release. And then the body just carried on walking. It's come into some interesting bump. It's come across some interesting. It was guided to go join this place, over 60s. Sort of an exercise thing a few times a week. And it's been really interesting. The body's really enjoyed it. It seems to be great wonders, but the amount of so-called other humans that have come across its path in the most strange places and times, and the conversations that have come up are all about awakening. It's interesting. There we are. But as I say, because it's still a body and a story, but not for long. There we are. Because, it's experienced that. It knows that. It knows that there's absolutely, yeah. It's not. So there we are. You can do it. Understand it does take time. If you're able to really be very conscious and not, but you see where the problem is, if you think you are not identifying, you've got to ignore the fact that there's even an existence of a you, that there's no person at all. It will dissolve, and it doesn't take that long. Okay, it's ignoring the mechanism, and don't trigger it. If it gets triggered, you ignore every picture of the past. That's what I'm saying. It's really going to be, it dissolves. It can dissolve fairly quickly, depends how much, but as long as there's a you trying, you see, you can watch what you don't have to even stay in the mechanism space. You can drop out of the mechanism space and ignore the thoughts completely. If you just understand that thing is a story mechanism. It's a generating, it's all it is. It's a mechanism that just generates a story. The minute something is identified with it will start, it's like other thoughts. It just collects, it just generates a story. A theme, like a link. That's its job. All it does, it's a mechanism. Not anybody's, not anything. Okay. It creates stories. So there we are. The minute you have a belief in something, it will generate the exact opposite story out there. All right. So that's all you're seeing. You're seeing what you would think, because you've labeled light, more darkness, more negativity, more. It's because you've got on one side all these stories of positivity and light and happiness and peace. It automatically generates the opposite story out there. But understand it's all you are seeing are stories out there, which are not true. They're generated by this mechanism we call the mind. Well, it's just a name that was given to something. It's a mechanism. It just creates wave into particle. But none is. There's no particle that exists, actually. It's created by that. The minute you label it, it becomes a particle. It takes on a form, a shape, as you saw that energy I've shared. Anyway, there we are. That's been shared. Off it goes. Lots and lots and lots of love. Maybe whatever this reason was sharing, also now when you understand this, whatever you see so-called out there, you will not even pay any attention to it, because you realize it's a story being generated by that form, which is just energy taking the pattern because it believes it's got a body and it's a human and it's in a certain space and a time, and That's all it is. It's created a, story around that, a world, because you believe there's a world and people. So that's what appears. You see, energy takes on a structure, on a form. This is where all your geometric patterns are found, so-called, out there. It's just energy which is now no more a wave because you've said it is something. Lots of love. Bye.